Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. As some of you may be aware, I have just returned back to work after having 9 months off on maternity leave with my second baby. So I thought I would share my 6 top tips on how I have kept organised and made sure that this transition has gone quite smooth, as I know when you return back to work after having a baby it can be quite not scary but worrying and trying to make sure you've got everything done. So my first tip is, and it's quite an obvious tip, most of these probably are quite obvious, but this is just things that I have done to help my first week back at work go smoothly. So my first tip is to get everything ready the night before. So I make sure I lay my boys' clothes out, so Charlie's school uniform is hung up in his bedroom ready to go, and that is socks, pants, underwear, everything hung up on a hanger. So all he has to do is get up and get dressed. And then same with Ellis, I lay all his clothes out ready. I make sure pack lunches are made and ensure that Charlie's school bag is ready, his homework is all in his bag, any letters that need to be signed are all signed, and ensure that Ellis's bag is packed and ready to go. So it means less time in the morning rushing around. As you know, mornings are precious and time disappears. So my next tip is to meal plan, and I will go through my cupboards, my fridge and my freezer to see what food I've already got in, to see what meals I can make from these foods, and then I will meal plan a meal every night for that week, and then I will write my shopping list from that meal plan to see what we need as extra. And that leads me on to my next tip, and that is I do my shopping online. I do click and collect, as I find it is easier, because when Chris finishes work on a Friday night he will just go to our local Asda and pick up our shopping. So I will go through that meal plan, go through my shopping list and add all that onto my internet shop, and it just saves so much time, especially at the weekends. The last thing I want to be doing with my precious time at the weekend is dragging my children around a supermarket. It's not fun, and it takes up probably about half the day. So definitely internet shop. And that leads me on to my next tip, is to help save time with dinners. I use my slow cooker. So I make sure that I get up a little bit earlier and I just chuck everything in my slow cooker, turn it on low, and when I get home from work my dinner is done. And that means that I can spend more time in the evening with my boys playing, rather than having to think, oh, I've got to do dinner. And some evenings I really can't be bothered. So a slow cooker is definitely a must when you are returning back to work. And that leads on to my next tip on saving time, precious time with your family at the weekends. So when my boys go to bed, they go to bed about 7 o'clock. I will then spend about half an hour or so in a room, be it the bathrooms, downstairs in the kitchen, the lounge, or tidying and folding washing. I will spend half an hour doing these jobs, so when it comes to the weekend I don't have the whole house to clean, because again that takes time away from your family time. And family time when your children are small are precious because they grow up so quickly. So keeping jobs like your housework done throughout the week just means that when it gets to the weekend there is not loads to do. So I make sure I do my bathrooms, I don't know, on a Friday. Then I will do my bedroom. I know I can't hoover it, but getting all the polishing done, tidying up and putting things away. Just tidying up as I'm going as well also helps, and I make the most of the time when the boys are having their bath. So once they're out of the bath, Chris is getting them ready, I will quickly fold that night's washing, which leads me nicely onto my next tip, and that is before I go to work every morning I always put on a load of washing, and my washing machine has a timer, and I will set that timer to a few hours before I get home from work. So when I get home it is all done. So as soon as I get home, I will take that load of washing out and put it in the tumble dryer. And then when that load is done, usually by the time the boys are getting ready for bed, I will just quickly chuck it out, take it out and put it in the washing basket and carry it up. And once the boys have had their bath and Chris is doing bedtime stories, I will then quickly fold it all as it is still warm. So this saves precious time on ironing, because let's face it, nobody likes ironing. I used to iron everything until I had done this tip. Now all I iron is Charlie's school uniform and other things that do generally need an iron. But I find if you take stuff out of the tumble dryer whilst it's warm, fold it up, it doesn't need ironing. And that is the best thing ever, because I hate ironing. But yeah, they are my top tips that I have followed for my first week in returning back to work, and it has made my life a little bit easier. Yes, this weekend I haven't done much because I have been tired, as I am pregnant with my third baby. So it has been quite nice knowing that I haven't got all them jobs to do. But it just saves time at the weekend, so you can do things with your family. You can go out and not have to think, oh, I can't really do that because I've got all the housework to do. So if you follow these tips, then it will make your life a little bit easier, and when you return back to work, not so daunting. And yeah, it just makes life easier. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my tips. Let me know down in the comments below what your tips are for when you return back to work. I can't wait to hear them. And yeah, I will see you again soon. Thanks guys, bye.
We are here on this very earth to love,